consciousness.
Fucking
now,
hell, Romeo.
you're on the
This
second
guy
of those
looks
five
like if you
levels.
left Donald Trump in the fridge.
Well, we, meaning Homo sapiens, have been around for a little over 200,000. New continent that rose
Oh
in
God,
the Atlantic
this is
at
spirit
the same
science.
time.
We have warped our own history as we rounded the curve on the precession of the equinox.
This is
Modern
the
views
same
of our
thing that
history
that guy
account
was
for many
talking about.
things. A man named Zacharias Sitchin spent a long time
He's
transcribing
a
these
fraud.
texts and had put them all together in his books. But many others have
He
also
doesn't
done the same,
even-
and the interpretations are always very similar.
No,
Not only that,
no, they're
but
not.
Thoth has also
Sitchin
shared
is a
information
fraud.
about
His
this with us, and
translations
his account
are
matches
not
the
real.
Sumerian records. There was a time, long ago, when humans existed at a very high level of consciousness.
That
We
doesn't
were
make any
interdimensional
sense.
and were very psychic.
Doesn't
We
make any sense.
communicated
We
through
never were
thought and
psychic.
emotion, much like how animals do, rather than speaking or writing, which would seem
That
very
doesn't make
primitive.
any sense.
We
Animals
lived
don't
primarily on a
communicate
large string of
through
islands called
fucking
Lemuria,
psionics.
but there was a consciousness shift. We moved up in consciousness, and the islands of
You can't
Lemuria
move
sank
up
beneath
in
the ocean.
consciousness. That makes
At the
no
time of this
sense.
shift, Atlantis.
Never
Back in
existed.
the early 1900s, the spiritual path of the United States was similar to what's happening today.
What?
People began to learn about meditation and study
What?
ancient lands like Atlantis and Lemuria.
What?
We actually found quite a bit of evidence that Lemuria existed.
No,
and
we
it had to
didn't.
do with coral.
No.
See, today we know them as ascended masters.
No,
The
no, we
Nicalls
don't.
began preparing
Never
Atlantis to be
existed.
our new home. They projected their energies across the surface of the
You
continent
can't
in the form
project
of the Tree of Life.
energy.
Not with 10 circles,
I don't
but
know
with
what
12,
that means.
An extra it was projected to the accuracy of a single atom.
What?
We chose to move to Atlantis because of the Kundalini. In humans,
Kundalini?
is often referred to as the energy serpent that runs up and down your spine. When activated, it provides an immense amount of energy through all of the chakras. The Earth itself
Jesus.
also has a Kundalini because the Earth is alive, like an
The Earth
organism
is not alive.
running from the center of the wherever the Kundalini resides. The people there become the spiritual leaders of the world.
Bullshit.
The Earth chose Atlantis to be the new energy.
So it's always in the Vatican? Is that what you're
After
saying?
Atlantis, the
The
Kundalini
Vatican's
moved
got
to
the
mountains of
Kundalini.
Tibet, which is
Fuck
why the
off.
Buddhists were the leaders. Check out the book *The Serpent of Light* by Drunvalo Melchizedek.
Drunvalo
Suddenly,
Melchizedek
in a
is a
single
fraud.
day, the Nicalls breathed life into the Tree of Life on the surface of Atlantis. This created vortexes of energy rotating out of each and every circle. Once the
Vortexes of energy rotating out of each and every circle. What is what does that mean? What energy is not some like disembodied force that is floating around. It is energy is a measure of something's capability of doing work. Oh God.
vortexes were established, the children of Lemuria began to be called forth. Millions
From
upon
what? From their
millions of
hobbit
Lemurians
homes?
who had
What?
the Great Migration began.
What?
However, the Lemurian body of consciousness had only reached the age of 12 as a planetary consciousness.
What?
Because we were right-brained, we were a female species.
What?
Like a 12-year-old girl. And some of
What?
our sensors weren't working yet. 2 vortexes with nobody using them. Not a single person. These 2 vortexes
Oh,
were
God.
pulling life toward them.
Is
and
this
in
where the
life,
Martians
can't
come
have
in?
an empty place. Life will find a way to fill it. Similar to if you were driving
What
on a
is this,
freeway
Jurassic
following
Park?
another car and you drop too far behind, someone will fill the place. That's
What?
exactly what happened on Atlantis. To fill these
Never
2 empty
existed.
vortexes, according to Thoth, 2 extraterrestrial races stepped in.
Oh God,
Not
it's
one,
real!
But 2 completely different races.
The
The
Martians!
first race were the Hebrews.
The Hebrews!
Thoth says that they came from off planet, but we don't know where
Jews
exactly.
are from
The Hebrews
space!
were kind of in consciousness. Now, if this is true, this would explain quite a few things about the Hebrew people in general.
Oh God.
They seem to have many sacred geometries hidden within their culture. It also puts perspective on the story of Exodus. Perhaps Moses
What?
incarnated into that lifetime to free the Hebrews because they were not direct descendants of humans and
What?
were being treated unfairly.
Exodus was a
Or could
myth.
be that
It never
Moses was
happened. It's a
visited by an
story.
ascended master of the- There were no problems caused by the Hebrews coming to Atlantis. They actually benefited our evolution.
They opened a lot of banks
Other
and
races
stuff,
that
right?
caused big problems. These beings came from the nearby planet of Mars.
Oh, there we
According to
go.
Thoth, Mars
Martians.
looks very much like something called the Lucifer experiment. From the very
Isn't
beginning
that
of creation,
where they opened up a
everything
new
was simply an
sun?
experiment. Creation itself was just consciousness creating and inhabiting itself in that creation.
What?
There is no divine plan. It is not a unity perception of oneness, but rather a duality perception of two-ness. There's a flower of life pattern
Duality
to Lucifer as
perception
well,
of
but that's a
two-ness.
big topic for another time. Anytime the Lucifer experiment has been attempted in the universe, it always ends in failure. The species will cut itself off from love and will become incredibly male, left-brained. What always ends up happening is that everyone became pure male, logical beings with no emotions. What happened on Mars was that they ended up fighting. Mars
Why?
became a battleground.
They don't have any emotions. What the fuck
Eventually,
are they
it became
fighting
clear
for?
that Mars was
They're
not going
purely
to survive.
logical and they still
blew their
destroyed their
atmosphere away
planet?
and destroyed the surface of the planet.
What?
Something happened.
I don't buy any
Now,
of this.
we've been discussing the star tetrahedron before, and now I want to give you a brief understanding of the Merkaba.
Oh, the
Merkaba
Merkaba.
was known in ancient
Here
times
we
as
go.
the Chariot of Ascension.
Of course it
It is
was.
the star tetrahedral energy field around the body. Before Mars was destroyed, they built huge tetrahedral pyramids. They
Those
built
aren't
3, 4, and
pyramids.
5-sided pyramids, eventually building a complex
Oh my
that was
God,
able to
you
build
moron!
a synthetic Merkaba. After 1 million years or so, it's been eroded, but the proof is there. Now, because the Martians were severed from the Unity consciousness, they couldn't create a living Merkaba. They simply used it as a tool. They created
What?
a synthetic Merkaba to travel in time and find a new home. A small group of Martians tried
Why
to get
didn't they
away
just
from
go
Mars before
back
it
in
was
time
destroyed,
when
and
Mars
that place
was
they found
habitable?
Earth. They just said, "All right, let's do it," and they stepped
Oh
onto
my
that vortex,
God.
and in doing so, they joined and changed our evolutionary path. Thoth's father, Thoth.
Alright, let's leave it at that cliffhanger. This is amazing. Oh, I haven't actually watched this. I've only watched like a video debunking it. I never actually watched the full thing. That is just amazing on so many levels.